on a map like Hacienda, because if Atlanta can get the snowball rolling, it turns into an avalanche in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and that's what they were able to do last go-around. In the stage match online, they were able to dominate off the rotations, and then when they needed to find breaks, they were able to successfully find those as well.
Yep.
Atlanta usually always starts slow in map number ones, but the Green Wall are looking for a massive W here to potentially change their season. Here we go into map one.
Let's turn up Florida. We got Optic Texas. We got Atlanta FaZe. El Clasico, a battle to try to avoid the top 8. Let's get it on. And the opening, perfect from the SMGs from Optic Texas. First 3 kills go their way, and Optic immediately hop the hill.
And they already are dominating that mid-map pressure. No one getting super aggressive. They are playing for that second wave of kills, and now Sip is forced to hit this long route through top flat. Everybody else now, you gotta go. Abizi finds an opening kill, but Hook the Nuke already off to a 4-0 start. Mid-map is his.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic start. Hook has really kind of not been able to, I would say, show up in the same ways that we saw early on in this season, in critical matchups in particular. So a 4-0 start is miraculous in a lot of ways in terms of helping this Green Wall start off strong. But as we look over towards P2, FaZe able to flip the spawns around, get themselves into position. Just comes down to what happens to this final spawner. And yeah, all 4 members from FaZe will be here with the trophy system on P2.
Yeah, earlier in their series versus Cloud9, this is where they showed their adjustments, because their hold percentage and their break percentage really isn't the best so far on the season. But when they need to have it, they are able to get it done. Now it's all on Simp, though. He's going to get isolated through the back. So Optic are able to block those back spawns, now have the numbers for the early break.
Nice little look at that early teamwork stuff that we're talking about as well. Get your read, get your double chow, get your break. Draza, last one left. And now looking to try to hit this through trophy. He's got Simp trying to work with him, but the nade forces the challenge, and Draza wins it. Now the focus towards back driveway. A couple of the tags are in. FaZe still trying to get through checkers to help out on this hold as Optic trying to force their way in. Kills are back and forth. The BZ Stubble leaves it just down to Shotzi, who takes down 2. Nade will get the trade, but Optic have the spawns.
Oh yeah, this 15 seconds is going to be theirs. And now if you're Atlanta FaZe, you want to try to trap them in towards the back. Don't overextend a little bit, potentially fall and then spawn at the back of this P2. You want to hold them in this position, but they find the opening kill onto Simp. The repinch, though, from Celium is going to go unread, and he's able to find at least 1 kill, but the spawns get mixy.
Yeah, and you get a boathouse spawn here late for Optic Texas. So for FaZe, they're going to be kind of stretched coming across the map. Dashy, the one trying to influence this rotation, but does not get any information whatsoever. So now down to FaZe, trying to hold this from the front. The start is good, and they also take care of Optic on the low ground. Now it's just a battle for office.
Abizi gets the worst timing there to give it that top flat control when the teammate does fall, but now the repositioning in towards Din, still causing a problem while your ARs are able to fill the proper gaps. Atlanta already find the lead change, and Abizi has hit a whole different level so far in its opening HP.
9 and 3, 3 in a row. FaZe solid in the first 40 seconds from the front. Optic scattered on these spawns, trying to make the most of it though. Shotzi shut down. Now you've got Skies trying to work over to the front, but the hit is just mismanaged. It's just so sloppy, but it actually comes through chaotically, and Optic are able to salvage the gunfights, surprise FaZe, and now there's a battle on rotation that goes the way of the Green Wall.
Oh, and that's a big one-on-one win right there from Dashy, and then Shotzi able to keep his teammate alive, so Optic walk away with the final 15. They win the rotation over towards the most important hill on this map at Rock. Now you just don't want anyone to scam. No one die first, and that's instantly 2 dead.
See what happens with the spawns here for Optic. Here comes FaZe full flooded. Shotzi gets the first one, tries to pre-fire for the second, not going to happen, and the break is instantaneous for the Atlanta FaZe. 3 members on the hill. You've got Simp trying to come off spawn to help, and he's thinking about hitting a route through mid as FaZe. They're going to have to deal with this full 4-man hit from Optic from the front.
Yeah, there's no need to hit a route through middle. Let's just stack it up, play the trade fights, because all of Optic are funneling their way through the front, and Shotzi is able to line up 3. You need this guy to get activated, and you can already see in the player cam, he's starting to chirp.
He's not chirping, Jay. He's screaming, letting it roar right now. There's just a different level of energy that comes with this matchup for this Optic squad, and now here they're trying to force out the rest of this FaZe hit. It is absolutely perfect, and that's going to lead to a marginal lead as we look back over to P1.
Yeah, that's insane, because if you're Atlanta, you're not expecting them all to go through the front, but they got players like Shotzi who can, with the Omni movement, find openings. So you're able to walk away with a majority of time here, keep a slight lead going over to the second half of this game. You can already see Optic Texas have those spiral spawns, just need kills through the middle of the map.
FaZe holding off this play a little bit longer as Abizi and Sip clean up the high ground, leaving Skies as the last one alive, and he's going to just bail out over through Fireplace. That's going to set up now Optic trying to find a break largely just from the low ground. Abizi surprised though by Skies. That clears off some of the window angles that FaZe are trying to hold on to, but it's just not enough influence for Optic to actually clean Celium off the hill yet.
Not at all, because they're not finding a gunfight through the top side of the hallway. But thankfully, Hoop the Noob, who dominated at this P1 last go-around, finds a double, able to find the break, but a BZ responds with 2. Just no one from Atlanta are in position to contest this whole time. 15 seconds still here at P1. Atlanta just want to cut the map. No one die off this roto.
Yeah, simple, clean down to the play through P4. Selling and following up top, and that is exactly what you want right in the right timing for FaZe. Dashy, pistol, that'll work out. So starting to create an opportunity to stretch across map. P2 open, and Optic looking to break as we head to a Texas. Listen in.
Nice. I'm one shot. I'm one shot.
Yeah. I'm going around the back.
I'm already in the back. I'm waiting for you. Yeah.
You guys see anything?
I'm waiting side door. I'm waiting for side door for a bit. Get around.
Laying down.
I'm one side door.
Lay down, drop it.
Nice. Center head dead.
I'm gonna go front.
Yo, one guy's definitely push out front. One guy's definitely push out front. By the way, we spawn.
You shoot us under here.
I'm big gates. I'm stunning naded.
Yo, he's on top of Lambo. What's checkers? I think it was checkers.
Yo, deep back.
Yeah, behind the Lambo. Closer, you guys.
Side door.
I'm trying front again. Okay.
Next side door.
One shot side door, guys. He ran mid.
Yeah, I'm going. We should rotate.
Same
Get the first kill.
Yeah, rotate. They're gonna be in our mid. Get 10.
Kind of close right. There's two.
I'm holding 10.
Yo, one guy's definitely like through somewhere.
Urge, I'm holding 10.
I'm checking our plot. I don't see shit.
Can they be under fire?
Yeah, 100%.
Open.
100%. I'm checking. Yeah, he's behind us. Good comp. I got
What's
one.
B10? What's B10? Nice. What's B10?
I'm blocking.
I
have to plot.
He might be you or something. Nice. There's no one there. We're missing one for He's gonna be open on you, Brandon.
I'm watching our
I gave a plot, boys. I gave a plot.
Dark, Zach. One shot dark. Absolute dark, okay? He's going plot.
I'm about to come help you guys.
Look at plot from I think that you will.
Holding art.
I detonated plot.
Nice. One dark.
Yo, top plat side.
Dark again. Dark one plat. There's multiple plats.
Two top plat. Yo, one could have spawned in the back if you like.
I'll look at it.
Another one gonna be in our. They're both there. Both plat, guys. One shot. Nice.
One more plot.
They're gonna flood the fences after that.
He's absolute out of fence.
Pretty tough, bro.
One
guy's close to you, homie.
Outer fence cell. First time.
Absolute cell. Or Draza's
Nice. MC was there too. I'm gonna go behind fire to cut the spawner.
Okay. There's definitely Draza.
Wait, side. There's side time.
One shot dead. Nice. Probably one more.
Skies quarterbacking a lot of the plays for Optic Texas, getting them back into this P4 as we switch over to Atlanta to see how they break into P4.
Yeah, I'm coming, Chris. Let's go. I'll team open. Come with the top. I'm nading the right, Chris. Dead. I'm one shot. Five left. Last time.
Kills, guy.
Team, Charlie. Dead. One shot. One shot. Nice.
I got stunned.
One shot. Nice. I got it. Give him in. Yeah, I'm blocking. One shot. Maybe one so fucking stupid. I'm blocking. I hear. I'm still blocking. I see nothing at all. I'm switching. Oh, he's out bottom secret. Where'd he go? He went dark. He's going secret stairs. Secret steps. Nice, Chris. I'm gonna get dark to me. I'm gonna get dark in there. They're you. Secret one shot. Secret to mid. Secret shit. Nice.
Spawning boat.
I'm gonna go left.
I'm gonna hit secret then.
Open it. One shot. Rock that.
All FaZe getting fiery, even calling out Optic, making a couple of brain dead plays right there as Atlanta will get over the 200-point threshold.
The energy is so locked in. Remember, Atlanta started off the day playing the very first match. It's hard sometimes to always keep that energy up, but you know every time you're spawning in against the green wall, you want to be at your best form. And so far up by 60, currently are fighting for the rotation over towards New. Hook has a big play in front of him. You need to make it.
Yeah. Wow, the shots from Simp, unbelievable. So now it's on to Dashy. He's got to find something, and it's just Optic getting strung together a little bit here, a little bit there, staggered one by one. They come one by one, they fall. And now Atlanta, prime position to put the game away here.
Yeah, and Optic couldn't find a break last go around in towards P2. Their initial push through back well gets shut down, and they were forced to bombard their way through the front side. And at least thankfully, Hook is able to line up 2 through the side door. So now there's only one player in the hard point. Just gotta flood your way on in.
Yeah, but numbers are still gonna look good for FaZe. Off spawn for Draza. could also be a bit of an issue. And yeah, dude, Optic spawned all the way back flowers. It's just going to take him so long to even get here. So this may be last legs. Shotzzy can only wait for so long. There's 240. Shots coming through the doorway, just trying to get some hit markers. But as Shotzzy's shut down by the nade, it has to be Skies. It has to be Dashy. And FaZe are fully prepared for where the hit's coming from. Last chance. Not going to happen to BZ. A monster game at 28-17 sets the stage.
Man, you heard him in the comms. He was just telling everybody, all right, you guys are great players.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can really shoot with me. But BZ just had one of those moments, one of those maps where every single time he's coming off the respawn, all of his timings are going correct. He's popping multi-kill after multi-kill. And Optic Texas were like playing from the back foot once we got to the second half of the game.
Yep.
And that's the same thing that Atlanta FaZe did earlier versus Cloud9. First set, you were not winning a majority of your rotation. Second set and on, we're dominating P2s. We're early off the fights at P3. And then Money Hills at P4, we're winning every single trade fight. Just Atlanta a little bit more prepared there. Obviously, they were slaying with every single player on the roster. And Optic Texas just not having as much success as they wanted on the Money Hills. Unfortunately, taking out here on map 1.
I think just like going back to where this game starts to change is actually in the middle of that Optic Texas listening where P2's not going well.
Yep.
And you hear them make the call of just find one kill, like, and then get out of there. We have to rotate. We have to rotate. But then Shotzzy dives onto the hardpoint. He's the first one to fall.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, in that moment, Optic rotate back to 3 and they clean up a couple of kills, but it just never set the line of scrimmage that they wanted to. And you can see that reflected. Again, that was that P1 to P2 right in the middle there. 50 points. You rotate over to 3. You're hoping you can match out some of that, but honestly, it's a 50-50 hardpoint where both teams come away with 20 or 30 points.
It's just one of those hills where, like, if your first push gets shut down, you're forced to do things you're probably not comfortable doing. So when you send 3 players through well, a team kill happens, and then you line up for Celium to basically pop 3. Yeah. You don't really have time to work back through lobby, to hit the long route back through well. You are forced to try to work through that front door, and Atlanta FaZe will fully set up conga line. And we're effective on the trades in that scenario. That was the difference in the game there. Just making the adjustments on their setup, not allowing Optic Texas to find breaks at the Money Hills. And this now only gets more difficult for the Green Wall because I said it before the series. Atlanta FaZe got 2 of their best search and destroys in this series, and they also have their best control.
Yeah.
You're down 0-1.
Yeah, that's not what the doctor ordered at all if you're Optic. And I think the thing about this is also kind of a categorized map that you look at and say this is the exact problems that Optic have had throughout stage 3 qualifiers where they just get on the back foot and then there's no recovery. It's just everything starts to get out of hand. To be fair, that's what Atlanta does when they're playing at their best, is that they're going to continue to put you in the worst spawns possible. They're going to force you to take 3v4s, 2v3s that just don't feel good. But for Optic, that's been kind of the story all season long, where it's like in that calm moment, we aren't winning this scrap time. Let's make sure we win rotation. And then they don't win rotation. It's just so tough to see that.
Also, a tough thing is like when we jumped into their listening, you can tell like Hook is just trying to read the minimap while he's playing the game. So he's sitting there like, all right, they potentially can spawn behind us. No, they potentially can spawn in front of us. Because obviously the minimap is not that big.
Exactly,
you don't know what the spawns are going to be influenced, but just all those comms going down, it makes people think. And unfortunately, some of those reads don't come in, and it allows Atlanta FaZe to always have the advantage.
There was a little bit of a back and forth there with Skies and Hook, where it's just like Skies is trying to quarterback the play, and then Hook throws something out, and Skies like, no, that's not actually what's happening. So this feels like, again, the chemistry not as where you need it to be at this point in time. But let's get out of that conversation and talk about the search and destroy. Because, I mean, again, for Atlanta, any year that you look at them, it's usually search and destroy is one of their best overall modes. This major, it's been a little bit, I don't know, 50-50, I guess is the best way of putting it. But one thing that has stayed consistent is Simp has been undeniable. A 2.0 KD. We kind of saw earlier in the matchup that Optic played versus Vegas. Shotzzy's been great in the opening duels. It just comes down to following up off of those if you're Optic.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man, because you're going into a map that you only have 1 rep on as a new squad. A red card where you played it versus Vegas. You went all the way to a 6-5. Vegas found multiple successful rounds in their first bloods, but just really couldn't capitalize off of that. I think if you're Optic, you're looking for your offensive dominance again. They were able to find a lot of success in their post plans after they find opening duels, but you're just playing against Atlanta on a map that they really like to play and have so many different strategies. I just think if you're Optic, you need to shut down their constant strategy, which is Simp consistently pushing over towards hedge, because when you give up all that space on the outskirts, they can work so many different plays on after that. So you have to contest them early on the outskirts.
And just to kind of combat the point we had made and what we saw earlier, highlighting Shotzzy's ability to win an opening duel, that hasn't necessarily been the case versus this Atlanta team, because Simp 60% of the time is winning his opening duel. So good stuff out of Simp, as it often has been. Definitely feels like a year where he's right up there in terms of MVP conversations already. We'll see how things go, though. Atlanta will set the tone with an opening offense here on Red Card.
Yeah, that guy's always in the MVP conversation.
Correct.
It's been like that for like the last 6 or 7 years, but here we go into the map number 2. Atlanta on the attack. I love the early investments out of the attacks to back them down for their go-to play. But now Abizi taking a lot of space over towards this B site. Palm potentially going to start the rotate.
Problem is, Abizi's got an AR here.
Yeah.
So his ability to kind of crack in towards B would be made more difficult. And I was about to say, Dashy was getting a really good look in terms of what was happening through mid. Sky's following up with shots, and that just gets Shotsy through. It's really good stuff. Yeah, you kind of saw that in the opening exchange by the bus. Atlanta just not able to get over towards stage side. That's allows Shotsy to push forward, and he takes advantage, finding 2.
Yeah, that's been their go-to. Every single time they play Red Card, Simp just throws his tags, takes control of hedges, slowly pushes up to their side. But this time they just don't allow it. Stuns connect on the back end. You take control of stage. Shotsy stays aggressive over towards hedge and finds the opening double. You don't allow Atlanta to get comfortable on round number 1. And just that pacing will definitely catch Atlanta off guard. You continue to play that way.
Absolutely. But there's also something to be said about that offense not having trophy systems,
Yeah.
so you're very cautious about giving away information, all the things. Optics turn. 4-man hit up Eskies. Okay. How about this for a little bit of a curveball? Right off the get-go, 4-man hit immediately down towards and through bleachers, and you can see what that's doing to Atlanta. They're getting a read at this. Defense is scrambling to come back through, but you don't have to commit if you're Optic. And look at the quick space that Skies and Dashy has reclaimed over towards the middle of the map.
Yeah, I love this. And then now you just want to leave Shotsy in this position.
Love it.
Drop the bomb, let Hook walk away with it, and potentially to be the guy to set up this late pinch. But just using your attacks is going to keep a lot of Atlanta face on this side of the map.
So
we just got to be a lot faster over towards A.
But the thing about it is your ARs are winning these angles. So if you get an opportunity to scout information, you're going to be the first ones to the gunfights. And keeping Shotsy in position. Oh, yeah, he just saw the top of Abizi. So now you turn, if you're Dashy, perfect, good first blood, good intel read, and now you've got numbers.
And they have no idea that Shotsy was the person who gave him that call. Thankfully, Selly was able to make it a 3v3, but Shotsy is going to break him on this pinch.
Should. This should be a round-winning play.
Oh, my God.
Stop it. Oh, we may have given him an assist on that one. Yep. Oh, Simp able to still push him away. Sky's on for the plant. 2v2. And FaZe are here. Nade over the top. I don't know if that hits Skies or not. Looks like it may have because Simp is trying to push forward to find the kill, but he can't find him. And now it's just back to the other side. Sulliam trying to rewrap, and I believe, yep, that's information from Simp. Sells scattered shots, though. Doesn't come through. This is taking a lot of time. Simp able to help out, and now it's just down to Skies for the 1v2. Still staying alive front side of the bomb. Just down to how much dancing can he do. He wins the first 1v1. Now the separation. Cell pushing forward. Sky's off the regen, off the reload. Nade toss just to get some space. He sees the read, just trying to use the clock as his ally. Not enough time, you would think, for Cell to get back, and no, Sky's finesses perfectly.
What a big round right there to Caesar Skies Bueno. The nade connects on him as soon as he gets that bomb down. And you can know, you see it. Simp doesn't want to overextend too much because you most likely know Dashy, on the other hand, is definitely watching over his teammate. But when Cellian is able to isolate on that 1v1, Simp just disregards Skies.
Yep.
Like he's like, all right, I'd rather have a 2v1 than a 1v1. Guarantee that kill, but then Skies finesses long enough around the site, wins the one-on-one, and then just plays the game clock beautifully. A massive round there from Optic Texas because they almost let that one get away.
Absolutely. And again, just in terms of pulling out play from the playbook, that was going to have Atlanta scratching their heads a little bit next time they're on the defense. But first things first, trophy system's now part of the play for Atlanta. Abizi with an SMG. And this is going to be a quick hit, it looks like, over towards there. At least a quick hit to make noise. And no, they're going to commit. Shots over the top of the bar. Decent. Hook still staying planted. Hi, how are you? Finds the first. Can he get the second? Lots of shots coming through. Help is on the way from Shotsy, but he gets turned away. It's just down to Hook. Oh! What a double from Hook! 3 in a row. Off the reload. Catches information on to Celium, who's now committed to this play as the rest of Optic start to flood forward, but Celium gets the first. Pre-fire was there, but also so was Dashy.
Oh my God, big shout out to the nuke, man.
Skies, rather.
Lays down right on the bomb. You're not expecting him to be in that position, but when a teammate's wrap back, give him a little bit of assistance, has everyone weak. The nuke is able to line up 3 and then set up Skies there to close out the round, but the freebie onto Abizi. You know, an absolute chaos every time you walk in towards the cafe. Draza a little bit weak, and then you turn and find the one-shot kill onto Simp. The nuke, the deciding factor on that round. Optic Texas, 3-0.
And now the mind games. What do you pull here if you're Optic? Different break off, but same idea. Lots of focus towards B. FaZe tossing early nades here defensively. That's not going to land. I don't even think they even got up to bleachers there. So you're going to get some really good control over the seats. Shotzzy diving on in. Sim for one. Spamming shots over to the other. Hook is caught tossing nades. And there's no trades, at least not initially for Optic. We go 3v2.
Now they're thinking that, okay, we have an opportunity to wrap our way back out of spawn, but already on the pitch is going to be Draza. He has Skies trapped again, but he's able to get out of dodge for now. 50 seconds to work with. Bond going to be down over towards B, but now he has info on both. We got to finesse longer.
Well, he still seems a little bit lost on where the second one is, but the knife is out, and just out of arm's reach. I think a collective gasp just took over the FAU arena here. As it was tight, it was narrow, but yeah, that break off is not as successful as the first time they tried it.
Yeah, it's just too many spots right there from Atlanta FaZe, unchecked. They strike for the opening first blood. You're probably not expecting there to be that many players on that side of the map, especially right off the rip. When you hear the tax getting invested, it's 2 nades that blow up. So you know in that situation, we have a 4v2.
Yeah.
Nothing else gets invested, but Atlanta have 3 players on that position. They were prepared for that aggressive push. While you had Draza working the pinch, also giving the information. The play is definitely going to you guys. So they trapped them in, secure their first round, and now looking for a response here as well on the attack.
Sky's seen that range, but yeah, Draza also sees Shotzzy, but Shotzzy, whoa, how does he get that first kill? More importantly, how does he get the first kill and get out of here? So now he's going to take away all of the Hedge's space, and Atlanta has no bomb.
Shotzzy's just making him feel so uncomfortable on this map, but Selling was able to catch Dashy again. Make it a 3v3, but Shotzzy is going unknown.
Oh, Sky's pulling some attention, though. Shotzzy trying to line up the shots. Does not connect fully, but Hook is able to capitalize on the damage dealt. 2v2. Bomb collected. As Easy and Draza start to get to work, they are separated at the time being, though.
Yeah, just plant the bomb A. You know that both these guys are sitting at that B site. Draza already has to wrap back through their spawn. Gains info onto both players, at least able to take down one, but a BZ v Shotzzy, 1v1.
Yeah, and BZ has the major advantage here because he can determine how he wants to play this post plant. The longer this takes, the more treacherous it becomes for Shotzzy. And that's the information. How good are the nade spots? Nade lands, pushes him off from the defuse. 20 seconds to fight. BZ re-clears. Now all of a sudden he goes, wait, where did Shotzzy go?
Oh, it's over with. Shotzzy already lost it. 15 seconds, you're trying to clear out their spawn, and a BZ, all you got to do is throw an extra shoulder or check at 7. Shotzzy's just not going to have an opportunity. Once that nade is able to connect, a BZ plays it to perfection. You show face on one side of the map, get him to reposition, and you push through over towards Sage. There's too many mind games right there. Shotzzy was unable to read him. And Atlanta FaZe secure their offense. 2 rounds in a row now.
And that's just one of those, you win that round before the game even starts by just knowing your nade spots flat out.
It's just one of those situations where Shotzzy gets that first blood aggressive over towards Hedge. It's no need for Dashy to back up, potentially to fight a gunfight through the middle of the map, because they can only be at mid or at B with all that stage control that you have. But just allowing them to make it a 3v3, to make it mixy, and then Shotzzy not to guarantee that kill onto Sellium as well when he took those premature shots in towards Ticket. It's made it more difficult for them to try to secure that round. But now Atlanta FaZe starting to come alive. Back on the defensive side they go, and this time they're taking Hedge away. Yeah,
this is one of those, again, after Optic has hit back-to-back B hits. You're going to commit a BZ to play inside the B zone. Trust that he can go at least 1-for-1. Cell's playing up top towards window, so you can rotate quickly if you needed to. But this is the interesting part about the setup. And wow, these stuns are going to land initially. I think Shotzzy's got an idea that at least one player is here. Damage is in. The question will be, does he expect there to be a second? Oh, and the shots back come through. Shotzzy's now stuck. He's in a really weird spot. Hook tried to help him out, but it's numbers advantage for FaZe.
Early info onto Hook already. Bomb is going to be down as well where Shotzzy does fall. So 40 seconds to go. You got to either eliminate all 3 or recover the bomb and get the objective down. But with 30 seconds, you got to make this play quick.
Oh, they do find a BZ. Oh, and now more information that Cell's still playing up top. And I believe Hook did see Draza playing over towards the backside of A arches. But how do you follow up on this with no clock really to play with if you're Dashy? And the answer is you don't. Cell just never leaves that position over towards top third.
Big first blood again from Sellium. Onto Skies over towards stage. Shotzzy tries to make up for it because he at least has the stun connect over towards Hedge. He has a nade connect over towards Hedge. The trophy system for Atlanta FaZe wasn't in the right position to block that. But then the overcommitment and then not guaranteeing that kill just made him trapped in that middle of the map, surrounded by players with red jerseys. Atlanta FaZe, 3 rounds in a row, tie the game.
Yep. Resets everything in terms of how the chess game has gone to this point as well. Crowd's loving it. A lot of FaZe fans in the front rows. Throwing it up. Here we go. Offensive look. Again, we've seen Abizi make this route a couple of different times. He's going to get a read on towards Hook initially. Cell. Oh, gosh. Did he see a shoulder? Oh, it doesn't matter. He sees all Shotzzy now. And I think Shotzzy has mutual info. So never mind. Not interested in that.
Yeah, he said these guys are taking their time in their spawn. Let me just reposition myself and not give up my life for free. Already 30 seconds gone on the round. Information gained onto Skies. And now you're going to back you down from Head's position. But Shotzzy finds the timing on the pinch, opening first blood onto SL.
Well, let's look at BZ wants to try to make the same play happen, though. But Dashy catches up. And now Shotzzy trying to take advantage of the changed focus of FaZe. Doesn't really fully work out. No trade from Dashy. But Optic have vast control of the map right now.
And Dashy gains info on both players as well. So Dashy's putting himself potentially in a position to trap them over towards this A site. Everyone else waiting to potentially shut them down on the objective, but they realize, okay, Simp is right on me. We gotta get this kill.
Yeah, Simp drops the bomb, trying to play forward. Skies in some trouble, has Hook nearby to try to assist. Skies gets a read on both, and yep, now they know exactly where Draza is. Well done by Optic. Moment of caution and concern there a little bit, but you know, once Shotzzy drops, you get Dashy into the same position, making sure there's no exit. Works out well.
Yeah, it made me real nervous when you turn it into a 4v2 and then we just slide out the door, give up your life for free. But thankfully, Dashy at that moment gets the info on both players. He's able to set up the repositioning on the pinch, or your ARs, and everyone else on your team are just holding through your spawn. Skies with the info, gives the comms to Hook. You find the kill onto Simp. And in a 1v3, you stand no chance. Optic able to finally stop the bleeding. But is it due to the fact when Shotzzy just finds an opening for those first
For
bloods?
real, yep.
It's like these risks can work if they work.
Yep, 3 first bloods for Shotzzy. 6 and 6 overall. A little peak. They know Cell loves to play top third. The question is, how much support does he have? Are the SMGs playing in towards Ticket? Are they playing towards Heads? That's what Optic are trying to feel out right now.
So far, Atlanta have shown absolutely nothing. They're stacked in
Love
towards
this.
Ticket, watching crosses on both angles, and Optic are just like, okay, we're going to plant this bomb at A for free.
I love this route from Shotzzy. Don't worry about topside hedge. Just play down low underneath the sidewalk angle and get the plant. So now the onus is on towards FaZe. It's going to force Celium to likely have to get rid of this position at some point in time, as the SMGs still haven't really created much space. Abizi's trying for it, but there's just not a lot of intel. He's just hunting ghosts right now.
Yeah, he knows that he has to clear out this pinch, or at least give some information to his teammates. Early shots onto Skies, not able to find the kill. Now Dash is in a position to find that trade, but Hook starts it off with the first blood. 20 seconds to go. Atlanta need to locate someone to keep you.
It's messy here from Atlanta. They just don't know where Optic is. So now it's just down to Draza over the top of the bomb site, and Skies never fell backside stage. And I love that idea. I love that route from Optic. If Cell's going to sit up top, if we don't see any information towards front Ticket, let's just dive underneath the sidewalk. Let's get that plant down early. We know FaZe aren't going to try to contest stage.
This is beautifully played. All the information that they give you, they had no presence over towards A. You get the bomb down, and everyone plays rail spread on their post plant. That allows you to watch every single angle of approach. And even though Abizi was able to put down shots on the Skies, you just had Dashy already behind them. SMG's aggressive up to the side of soccer, and then just way too much time wasted when Atlanta FaZe were attempting that break because they didn't get the opening kill.
Yeah. Different look here for Atlanta. All 4 members up top through Eskies. 3 of them going to use a trophy system to try to push aggressively over towards B. But this is already being read by Optic, and they've got 3 defenders here immediately pushing it up. But look at the quick response. They know that this is going to be a commitment, so now they're in position to try to win over mid-map as Atlanta try to focus their rotation.
And this time they don't have any head control, so if you're Optic, you gain the info as well. Abizi knocked down to 35 HP, and Shotzzy again finds an opening on the bench.
Yeah, and he's going to take care of Celium. That should allow Hoop to try to make a play for it, but how about Simp? As the bomb carrier pushes out, they get the isolation on Disguise. 3v2, the flank is an issue, and now they also know those shots where Hook is positioned, and Atlanta looking for more kills.
Yeah, they're just going to push through. They said screw planting it towards A. We get in B and we get this bomb down. We're going to stand a pretty good chance. You're also not able to spot Hook there, so 35-second bomb is going to be planted. Can the SMGs from Optic Texas clutch up?
What tools do they have available to try to retake this? Because the post plant is dynamic. Simp holding a corner, Draza just watching the initial cross. Abizi there to pop up when needed. Hook's gonna check with an AR first. They find Simp, but they don't find the kill immediately. Shotzzy gets the trade to the 1v2. Has not seen either of the other two phase defenders. Pops open, good prediction, but the crossfire setup too strong for Atlanta.
Easy mid-round adjustment right there from Atlanta. Start off with the aggression over towards B. Realize, okay, Optic are stacking this site, so let's hit the rotation over towards A. Even though Shotzzy was able to weasel his way through the pinch, find that opening kill. It's just an effective trade on the side of Atlanta phase, and then Simp getting aggressive onto Skies to give them the numbers advantage. Just play your numbers to perfection. Don't give them an opportunity if you plant the bomb towards A. Let's wrap it back towards B, get it planted, because there's only 3 entrances, and everything is covered.
What do you call here if you're Optic after finding success, getting a quick plant at A by way of just running through hedges? Looks like they're looking for something similar, but not before Dashy and Hook try to create a little bit of noise and pull some attention towards B. No nades tossed yet. Finally, the offense starts to throw a couple, and look what that's done. They haven't seen anything over towards stage, so all of Atlanta are backing up and re-wrapping towards B.
But not all of Atlanta. They know that they don't want to get caught off this rotation game again. So 2 players are going to stay strong over at this A point. Draza playing over towards stage, just trying to watch the cross. It's already been 40 seconds gone on the round, and we're still relying on this 2-2 split.
Neither team has seen anything yet.
Nope.
So this is going to be just a blind flood hit for Optic. Nades down mid, just desperately thrown. Shotzzy mantling at hedge. Draws a different angle. Works out nicely. Knows that Skies likes to play stage. Backs away. You keep your numbers. 4v3.
30 seconds to go. You don't really have opportunities to make a lot of decisions here. We need to find a kill. We need to get the objective planted. It's looking like the play is going to be committed over towards A. Players from Atlanta phase stacked at that B site. Yeah, time to hit the rotation. 4v2, but Hook at least finds one.
Yeah, great shots from Hook. He's got a little bit of space to plant. Dashy trying to watch over the top of him. Draws up, pushing forward. Catches Hook just before the bomb gets planted. And then an explosion finishes off the rest of the round. We're going 11.
Atlanta phase with the adjustments. They said last time it was way too easy for them to just get the bomb down at A for free. So this time, let's start off initially by taking hedges away and investing our attack to gain the early information, but then just not biting on the trick right there was the biggest thing, because Optic was showing face at B. They were thinking about that rotation over towards A, but this time Atlanta phase said, nope, not going to catch us slipping. We'll keep 2 players in this right position, and thankfully Draza stays strong in his situation to find that opening first blood with only 30 seconds remaining on the round. Round 11. Optic Texas need this one.
And they're on the offense. And how about it? Did we just do what we did in round 1? No, instead. How about this? After Selim didn't play up top third this time, they're going to try to see if they can catch space over through the middle of the map. Help there for the ARs, pushes Selim off, but he's going to know that there's a threat here immediately.
Shotzzy slips through. Shotzzy goes unaccounted for. So it's truly on Shotzzy to make this play.
You cannot allow Skies to drop the bomb here at mid, though. Timing going to be everything. Hi, how are ya? Shotzzy for first blood, and when he finds first blood, Optic has looked good, but can he stay alive in this position as the bomb starts to re-wrap and reset?
All you got to do if you're Shotzzy is just be a nuisance. Value your life so you can't know more, but the bomb is starting to approach over towards this B site, and the Bees is in the same position that Hook played.
Yep, he's just holding into a corner. Draza's been seen. Here's a BZ. First one, not bad. Gets he get away? Yeah, he does for a moment. As Draza's right there with Simp, and the play is shut down. It's just down to Dashy. 1v2.
The most cuts player in the CDL. 25 seconds, 1v2, and he's not going to get it. Atlanta phase, 3 rounds in a row. Steal the search and destroy again. And now they're up 2-0 in the series.
That's such a heartbreak. Because, yeah, Shotzzy gets sell, and you think there's no way Atlanta can wrap back over to be quick enough. He shouldn't be able to. If there's a member on the B zone, he's by himself. And if Easy getting his first is fine. It's just the fact that Simp is able to get into the site as quickly as he does. That's one of those things you just don't account for if you're Optic, because you take away that backside defensive defense spawn rotation point because of his position up top. But no, Simp able to sneak on in, find the trades. Draza follows up with an 11-6 overall. And after 4 first bloods from Shotzzy and 6 in total for Optic, it's the last round. That doesn't go the way of their numbers, and now FaZe are up 2-0.
That's insane, man, because Shotzzy made such a risky play, and thankfully it worked out to find that first blood. because at that point, you got Atlanta FaZe scattered on their defense. They know that they're man down. They know that they have someone already in their spawn, and we still don't know where the play is actually going to develop at. But thankfully, again, they just don't sweat it. Like Atlanta FaZe, without question. I don't know if we have the stats on hand, but whenever they're in a man disadvantage, they always seem to figure out a way. This what makes them probably one of the best SnD teams that we have in the league. And now off that clutch, you're up 2-0 in a series, feeling great. Going to your best control map, things starting to look a little bit dire here for Optic as FaZe find themselves 2-0, and we go over back to the desk.
It was 5-2. Everyone ran to the couches to put their headsets on. Except for Chance. You saw this coming.
I'm walking down the hallway being like, map's not over. Optic find new ways to scam every single time. And like, if Optic is lucky, they're playing like 2 different styles of Call of Duty, which isn't good. And when they're not lucky, they have 4 different ideas of what they want to do on the map. It's not good Call of Duty. They scam like crazy. They're not a good team.
I was really impressed in certain moments, though. And like, Hoop was frying. He's getting some nice entries. But where did it unravel for them?
I mean, well, let's just start with the final round. Legitimately, I think I could have watched that round 5 times and not know what Optic's objective was in that round. Like, in this situation, we'll get to it. We'll watch these highlights, and I'm sure it'll come up. But for Optic, they were trying to scam this map the entire time. Shotzzy throwing his life away left and right, just trying to be a hero, make huge plays. But in the end, they push all the way to the round 11. Like, they have a chance to 5-3 in this map. Like,
it's off of plays like this from Hoop, right? He gets that 2-piece, they go up. I mean, they're up 3-0 at this point. The adjustments from Atlanta FaZe, you got to tip your hat to them because they just start kind of slowing the game down and forcing Optic to make mistakes. And also, I really enjoyed the post plant from the side of Optic Texas. This is not an easy map to go up against Atlanta FaZe. They force themselves over towards that A site. Their post plants were incredible, but I think Ant made a really good point of just like the adjustments from Optic Texas. One, came way too late, and also we're just all over the place. Like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. We saw Shotzzy hit that 1 round up mid that he pulled in that round 11, and he dies with bomb out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, Atlanta did a good job. I mean, you saw, like, they got bullied at A1 round. It was Optic's best round in offense.
Final round here.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this one. So in this situation, Dash is just in no man's land. He's just all the way out. I would have understood this round if Dashy were to went over towards soccer, or we audible and bring the bomb towards A so Shotzzy can help from up top. But they didn't either one of those chances.
Zero cohesion as a unit. No idea what they want to do as a team. And, like, I feel bad for Skies because he's just going to be made the de facto, like, scapegoat for the team. You have Kenny, a two-time world champion on the squad, doing the exact same thing. This squad is not good. Anyone you throw in there is going to be having the exact same type of problems. Like, it's a full team issue. And listen, that made it, like, they're not fixing it. It's not happening this quick.
Reverse sweeps.
Are not gonna happen.
Not out of the cards.
Well, let's talk about how good FaZe are, though, man. Like, Atlanta just, they have an answer for everything. I mean, you talk about, like, this Hacienda to start off the tournament looks bad for them. You know, they have a lot of losses on this map. The last two times you've seen them play it, they keep going back to it. Their P2 is so good now. When they need a break, they get it. A huge break on Rock. Abizi comes behind, finds Shotzzy, then they collapse onto the time. Like, Atlanta FaZe is seemingly always improving and ready.
And you can hear from the comms of Atlanta FaZe, like on the P4s, where Abizi is directing traffic, telling him where to go, where to block, when to push, when to do that. And that means the team understands everybody's role at the same time. Optic is a team right now, they need the stars to align for things to work out.
I have to say, Draza has been frying. He is playing with confidence. Man is looking good against a team who has just had their number, regardless of what jersey he wears. Draza always seems to get the best of Optic Texas.
Absolutely, but you know what? I think it comes down to two things in that map number one. One, Abe had an incredible map one, which again, we talked about the SMGs in Atlanta FaZe. They needed to have a slightly better showing here at major number 3. And also, two, it came down to that final P4. Atlanta FaZe breaking that hill is huge for them again, because they've sucked at it all stage long.
Nimbus, what's your prediction record today?
Ooh, I think I'm 2-1-2 or 2-1. I don't even know.
Oh, you think about that.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to the casters. When we come back, Nimbus will be at the bottom of the predictions leaderboard.
Oh,
It is what it is, brother.
This guy's faded. We've already had 4 matches being played. He's not doing 1 or 1 and 2.
He's not locked, bro.
Wow, he's already thinking about the draft. For us, we're thinking about the protocol control. And I think the biggest news here is, again, just based on how the vetoes have gone, FaZe, there's so many advantages against Optic in this mode because you don't want to play them on 1. They don't want to play 1 at all, so you put them on their best control map.
Yeah, this is why it was difficult to play them to end stage 3, because it basically tells you what maps you don't and want to play against this roster. You obviously don't want to play Hacienda control because last time it didn't treat you well. So you auto veto that if you are Optic. And Atlanta FaZe, it makes their job a whole lot easier because choosing Team B, they get to choose which search and destroy they want. They get to choose the control they want, and then the map number 5 is always going to be in their favor. So Atlanta FaZe on this protocol control, 13-4, where Optic are like 2-7. So this is going to be tough, man.
Yeah,
you got to bring it
real
to
tough.
slaying.
It's going to be real tough. And I think in particular, it's just about, I think in specific against Atlanta, you cannot lose track of the two subs.
No.
You can't. Because the thing I think that Atlanta do better than maybe most teams on this map is that the ARs are going to dominate the outsides of the space, let the SMGs just work off one another, either down low or up top in the middle of the map, getting in towards 10, getting into lockers, getting that spawn trap into effect almost immediately. And I think the thing kind of reflecting on Optic and how they've played this map in the past, especially from the offensive side, they love to hit these little breakoffs towards B first, which if that doesn't go well, you're instantly screwed.
And that's the same thing that Atlanta FaZe did in their series early on today.
True.
Like, it's the initial pushes over towards B. Atlanta FaZe is doing a little bit better because they get a stack going once those kills start to go down. But if you are Optic Texas and you need this match, you need a map to potentially turn your season around. You know how important this 15 points is for your chance to make it in towards champs. You need to have a good run, but it needs to be through the slaying. You have to outslay Atlanta FaZe on a map that they definitely never get outslayed on.
Never. They've been up there as one of the best on protocol control from start to finish in this league. And it will be Atlanta on the offense first. You called it. They love to try to hit these opening routes over towards B. Drazah's first blood will start on that, but Hook playing towards bottom PC has stopped the SMGs from being able to join them.
Wait a minute, did Shotzi just troll? Like, he just looked at Celium in the spawn. Celium wasn't moving, so he's thinking the game probably is gonna end, but then Celium just plugs his controller back in and wins that gunfight. And now they have the heavy numbers advantage at this B point. First segment already locked. Optic spawning all behind back grandmas, and they just need to win a couple gunfights to work their way back in.
First tick already in. Drazah still able to assist a bit over the top of where Abeezy's getting to work, and this has been magnificent from the side of FaZe. Drazah for 2, now he joins the point, and that's Optic pretty much fully wiped off the floor. All 4 members are here. This B zone is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. And now if you're Shotzi, you are forfeiting this B point to just stay alive in their base. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to work with. Thankfully, Dashy's able to catch a couple off the exit. But you cannot allow these guys to get lost. 3 players accounted for. Where has Simp gone?
Yeah, but I think the thing is you're saying let him do what he wants to do. We're going to put all of our members forward to get this life count even and start to deal with a little bit of the time off the clock to this point. Shotzi, though, overwhelmed. FaZe taking their time. They're going to find another one. That's 3 dead immediately as Simp comes back to the play and now can get his boys out of spawn.
Yeah, he's still roaming through their base. So how much more can Simp get done? Make it easier for his teammates to approach over towards this A point. They know that there's a couple players from Optic already working on the pinch, and everyone is starting to fall, starting to lose those one-on-one gunfights. Optic are able to stabilize in a big moment.
Oh, but again, losing track of one of the SMGs, Abeezy. Finds an opener, stuns, reveal that he's still playing. Bottom side stairs as Optic once again take over to control 10. Tough gunfight for Abeezy, steps away, tries to call for help, but Shotzi's already gone. Drazah can't hang with Hook, not with that battle between an AR and an SMG. Simp eventually finding Shotzi, but nothing more. Life advantage starts to accrue now for Optic.
They just keep on trading if you are Optic Texas. The 2 players that are roaming in their spawn are streaking. Dashy eventually does fall on 4, but Hook's there to fill that gap. You've been able to make up for it in the lives remaining. You're currently up by 2. You have them overextending through that B point. It's already been a minute, wiped off the game clock.
Indeed. Drazah pulls out an extra sub just to try to get out of spawn. Sky's caught on the reload. Follow up? No, not there. Shotzi, too slippery. Trades back and forth are fine for Optic. Simp has gotten through, but would have to be a hero again for FaZe. Long-range shots to Hook are decent, but no kill means that Optic can continue to just play forward.
Yeah, he sets up his teammate, though, for that kill onto Hook. So now it's on what can Simp get done in their spawn. Catches the time to jump out the window, but right into the pre-aim of an AR. 30 seconds to go. Flank on the horizon from Celium with the SMG in hand. He's able to get one, but his teammates are doing nothing off the respawn.
This has kind of been the story of everything since this B zone has been captured, is that Atlanta can get one member through, but Optic just continue to dominate them in their spawn. However, the second tick of progress very well may come through. Help is on the way here for FaZe. No challenge for Optic on the zone. 7v4. Numbers are starting to mount here for FaZe. Cell getting a read on the pinch play, but Skies clears off 2. 6v2 situation. Sky's seen at mid, but he gets that elimination onto Drazah. Team Nate is there. Cell's just trying to stay alive and see if he can just reduce this play to play it off the zone, but it won't happen. Yet still, I'm sure FaZe are sitting there like, whoa, we still got 5 ticks.
Yeah,
not bad.
Definitely got 5 ticks. With Dashy camping over towards Heli, you're probably not allowed, or at least looking to secure that 5th segment, but they gift it to you. Definitely take it. Thankfully, Optic off of a mediocre break-off were able to stabilize in the middle of the game, even though time got extended pretty early. The SMG started to get activated. Dashy was also filling in the gaps, working on those pinches. So they were creating so many layers, and Atlanta FaZe could just not find something off of the respawn while their teammates were pushing out on the opposite side to get anything going there.
Yeah. Silver lining, I think, with the bad break-off followed up by at least saving the round. But can you keep some momentum building into your first offensive break-off if you're Optic? Looking for the reverse sweep, looking to try to cement themselves right up there inside the top 8 comfortably in the CDL standings. The BZ shut down for first blood. Shotzzy takes that kill and runs with it. Heads up top. Whoa, that's awkward, but Cell gets caught on the rope, trying to come back over the top. Draza still forward and towards the Optic spawn. As now Dashy takes the baton, tries to get through the A zone, while the rest of Optic are focused on B.
Yeah, they should at least allow almost one segment to be guaranteed here, because Hoop pushes aggressively through tower and is able to watch the cutoff through top mid. Now you can set up a stack at this B point to do the same exact thing Atlanta FaZe just did to you on round number 1. But Draza on the pinch, Simp with the nade. You got the 4v2. Let's flood them out. Let's not give up this time for free.
Oh, Draza gets up top on the zip, takes care of Skies. Nice stun and follow-up on the Dashy as well. So 2 ticks secured. Spawn trap trying to come through. Shotzzy on a pogo stick, deals with Sim. You got to find the rest of this phase off this defense, though, because they are still all over your front line. And, woo, a tough gunfight right there. Skies able to win it. That's now 4 down. That should be maybe even progress on both zones at the same time here.
And now if you're Shotzzy, just influence the spawns a certain way. Thankfully, he's going to block the close one towards back Grandma's. Everyone going to spawn over towards tower. And he's still being a nuisance behind enemy lines. Just should allow his teammates to stack that point. Extend time early on with a 4-kill lead.
Looking good here for Optic. Celium, one last look through sidewalk. That zone's not done yet. And now Hoop, just able to get on and capture. If he doesn't get that kill, that may have been an A zone that gets depleted, but instead the extra 60 comes through. Lifeline starting to amount. Shotzzy working with both weapons off this flank, and little Omni-Whip just dives onto the railing. And Hoop following up now allows an opportunity for Optic to stack on B.
That's 3 dead. They already have all the kills. We just need to get everybody on the objective. It's already halfway to the 3rd segment. Hoop the Nuke still getting it done on the objective side while Dashy is watching over. And Optic Texas backs against the wall. Currently up 2-0 on the control versus Atlanta, who are the best at this map. It's insane.
And it's been Hook this series. He has been everything Optic needs. As Boca Raton, some of them may not have been in Dallas when Hitch was hitting the drums, but they know the chant. Trying to fuel Optic to a map 4.
They need every ounce of energy that they can give them, because this series is far from over if Optic are able to manage to close out this control. You're up 2-0. Get it done through all the segments, so you're currently up by 1. Just don't give Atlanta FaZe any breathing room when you have them trapped again.
This time Optic gonna get a read, or at least attempt to get a read on what was that break-off play towards B for FaZe. Doesn't work out. FaZe just take a bit of a pause, find their kills, and now 3 are dead. And the first tick's already gone at the A zone as FaZe continue just to lock things down with the ARs. Get north.
Lots of long lanes. Baz already finds 2 in a row. Now Optic are going to bank on this pinch. You're at least able to find the trade on the selling, so you can work the deep angles. But by the time you get into the play, A's already going to be done and dusted. Now you might lose track of where Atlanta FaZe go.
Nice shots from Draza on the skies. The BZ shut down, but the trade's there. Just down to Shotzzy, trying to play through the play. A couple of shots towards Draza, and then just gets out of there. Simp, though, getting forward over towards the lighthouse, finds one. Another one's nearby, hasn't been able to tally that information yet, but it doesn't make a difference. Simp still kicks Skies backwards, and now an opportunity for Atlanta to use their numbers, win out the battle at mid, and stack on the B point.
Yeah, and Shotzzy's also going to get caught, so now you know if you're Atlanta, everyone is coming off the respawn. Let's just stack the point, play these trades. Who flies on in to get the first? You need everybody else from Optic to surround them.
Shot still coming through as now Cell's on a bit of a pinch from the backside, but Shotzzy and Skies, a little 2v3 moment. Clean up the point and stop that second tick. Also a shutdown onto a BZ. Draza seen and dealt with. 18 v 16 FaZe still an advantage, and there's still a minute 50 on the clock.
Yeah, now they got to waste a little bit of time to work out of their spawn. Skies also finds one before getting traded. That's job well done. A minute and 40 to work with. If you're Atlanta, you know that Optic Texas aren't looking to scam here. Everyone just camp your corners, play for one-on-ones.
Draza gets the opener. Numbers for FaZe starting to move across the map. Hook up top at ledge. The next focus is Simp tries to come around the back of this play. Still not able to see Hook. Shots come through. Now Simp makes his move onto the B zone, which had been fully depleted previously, so a chance for Optic to still get their defense in line.
Yeah, they got a lot of top mid presence. Potentially isolate onto Simp. They find that kill. Now the rest of Atlanta are working their way through bottom comms. They need to find this kill onto Shotzzy. Thankfully, they're able to locate him without anyone falling. Now it's just the next wave right at tower.
Yeah, and Optic is just bunkered up around the zone. Abizi, overwhelmed downstairs, backs away, lets Celium pop up. The bait switch is so good. And they're going to find both kills. 13v9. FaZe stacked up on the staircase, trying to make their move. Shotzzy in their way. Hook on the pitch. Not fully red. Just down to Simp from inside the site. He catches the first. Shots on the Shotzzy are good. But to the pistol, he's still got to worry about the players on the front side of the hill. But FaZe have numbers, and they still have mid-map control.
Now you need this pitch from top mid to work out. Thankfully, Sky starts it off, wins the first gunfight. Second is already locked, and Optic cannot afford to fight everyone outside of the hill. We got to jump in, and they jump in at the right time.
7v5, 50 seconds on the clock, advantage to FaZe. But they're losing out in a bit of map controls. Hook is in trouble. Does he have an exit? He sure does. Dashy there to help him. That is a critical life to keep if you're Optic. And FaZe will have to take their time to get their next setup hit.
And they're just looking for an opening. Optic playing real safe on their setup. Dashy from top Grandma's is able to find Celium. Now Shotzzy in the perfect position, but doesn't win the initial gunfights. No more respawns, 25 seconds to go.
And Hook has to worry about two things at once. He needs to help on the zone, but he also has to worry about that pinch. Abizi sees him up top, there's the kill. 6v3, Sky's playing inside the tower, deals with one of the ladders, slips away. Does he get another one? Ooh, maybe not, because Dashy's right there with him. Clock stopped for a moment, 14.3. Sky's still finessing. Progress is slow. Long route from Dashy around the backside of the play, but he falls. It's just down to Skies. Tries to slip into the zone, and Celium will meet him. FaZe win an offense, extend the map.
So they have a total of 10 segments combined between both of their offenses.
Good point.
So if you're Optic, you secured all 6. If you obviously walk away with this attacking round, you're going to close off the match. But I think the big picture is let's just get 5 segments, put ourselves on the preferred side just in case we get to that round number 5. But Atlanta FaZe this time around, just instead of going B, go over towards A. Maintain a lot of that mid-map control. Optics start to fight back with their SMGs, start to win some big gunfights, especially out of the nuke. There's just too much of an advantage there when Atlanta had a 3-life lead. Just continuously play trades, play their numbers perfectly.
You called out the tally in terms of ticks that had already been earned. So this is not done yet by any stretch of the imagination if you're Optic. Good first blood though onto Draza as the troops start to amass over towards the bottom side at field, but Simp Abizi right there to match up with the SMGs of Optic, leaving Skies by himself, and he's going to try to continue to play this play up in towards B. And a follow-up kill to Draza will allow him to at least pause the clock while the rest of his teammates try to fight out of spawn.
Yeah, and you're not going to have a fun time because Abizi's already roaming. Finds himself on 3 in a row. Celium is also there to assist him. He is going to fall, and now it's all into Abizi. At least able to find one. Some insane shots. Shotzzy must have been one shot. But at least Optic paused the game clock for now at the B point.
Yeah, Simp gets the cutoff, so it's just Sky still by himself on B. Shotzzy putting some focus over towards the A zone as Skies will be taken off the point. Same can be said though for Shotzzy. Clock continues to tick. Simp now back over towards the spawn. Trying to get a read, trying to move these spawns around just a touch and make a lot of chaos start to occur here for Optic. Good stun, good follow-up. Optic stave off the spawn trap for now.
Oh, and Abizi too aggressive on his flank there. Gives up his life for free, and Celium falls at the same time, so it's already 3 dead. Optic can hop on this 8 point. Get your trophies down because you know the nades are going to come raining over the top. Dashy has the OE covered. Second segment should be guaranteed.
Yeah, 3-man stack is making this go really quickly, and you can see FaZe are trying to catch Dashy first. Draza now in for the contest, over the top. Good timing on this play, but Shotzzy with the shutdown. Abizi able to follow up, but not enough to get Hook out of the point. So an extra 60 comes through. We're tied at 19 lives apiece.
That's a big A capture to extend this time if you are Optic. You got 1:30 to work with, currently up by 1 life. A lot of space already being taken from the nuke. He's able to find a one-on-one. Was not prepared for Abizi to instantly be in towards lab, but now you have 1:20 with map control. You just need kills.
Shotzzy shut down in his long play though. Moment of pause here for Optic as FaZe continue to make sure no one has gotten through. Tied back at 14. FaZe starting to work forward now with these kills. And there's really not much that Dashy can do. Hook able to stop at least one play out of Simp. Dashy gets another read onto Abizi. Isolation should be good, and it is. Numbers now for Optic, try to move into B.
Vaselium at least finds the one-on-one onto Hook, so numbers still even. Skies makes up for it, but now you're not going to be prepared for Draza on the pinch. He shows his play. He's already towards top 3, and all his job now is just stay alive.
Yeah, the problem is Optic a little bit stuck here bottom field. Skies trying to bail them out, but shut down. Numbers advantage for FaZe. 40 seconds on the clock. Dashy catches one. Hook trying to make a play, but again, you called it. You know that Draza's behind you somewhere. You can't just stay here on stairs forever, but Draza will fall. Abizi also takes a couple of straight shots. Optic now know that there's another player behind him as the clock gets paused at 29.4. 9v9. Hook still alive on the zone. Following up towards mid, but there it is. 3 dead. Draza, the last one standing, is trying to play this from the front. The stack is coming through.
Yeah, go help him. Go stack the point. Force them to make a quick decision off of the respawn. Draza's gonna fall. Everyone else off the respawn. You just gotta stack.
No trophy, but none of these nades have been hitting it to this point. Simp and Abizi. Oh, Simp and Abizi! A tiny tear's coming through clutch. 5v5. 20 seconds on the clock. The tick progression, you got to keep in mind, it's going to influence what happens in round 5 if we get there. 4v5 situation. Optic are stuck. They can't quite get out of spawn. Abizi just dancing. There's no kills for Optic. The last 2 players of Skies and Hook just trying to create something, but they're running out of time and they're running out of space to work with. FaZe are going to hold on and set us to a 5th.
Now I'm pretty sure that ties us up in the segments, or at least you secure an extra one there if you're Optic. So you're going to be the team on the defense. Going into this round number 5, you had to get it done through the objective to give yourself the opportunity. Just that late round heroic push. But they find 3 kills in sync. Be able to stack for that second segment to be locked in. It should allow the green wall to go back on the defensive side to potentially close out this map.
It's been a tight affair, and you got to think back. It's a round 11 search and destroy, a 4v3 for Optic that doesn't come through, and now we're round 5 where Optic will have the advantage again, this time on the defense. But I say advantage. It's hard to say that when FaZe looked as good as they did in their last attack.
Realistically, though, if you're Optic, you can't give Atlanta FaZe 2 minutes to work with at one of these points. The break-off needs to be perfect. Try to trap them in their spawn for as long as you possibly can. You see the round 5 records in control. Not the best for the green wall. Basically mid for Atlanta FaZe. Vaselium starts off with the first kill. Already a lot of pressure at this B point, but Optic just take the opposite side of the map away, and they walk away with the majority of those fights.
Yeah, very fortunate they were able to catch angles onto the players onto B from that long route. Abizi changing things up as Celia pushes forward, has himself a sub and a 4 streak to work with. They know that Shotzi's through, they just don't know where he is. The hunt is on, though. This is taking time, so again, kind of what you call for. The recipe's starting to come through. Optic killing a lot of clock right now.
Yeah, this is perfect. And Shotzi is valuing this life so well in behind enemy lines, but now he falls by getting double chowed. Celium's still aggressive with the SMG. It's already 2 dead, but here comes Skies on the pinch through spiral.
Yeah, Sky shut down though by Draza. Celium moving the spawns for Optic's defense around. Dashy, nice shots from Dashy. Whoa, okay, maybe an opportunity here. A lifeline for Optic to still contest this A zone, but the second tick is already gone. Draza over the top has help from Simp. The team shots are in, and on the zone, still alive is Simp.
Gotta chill now if you're Optic. Do not contest this again. Just allow this one to get away from you unless you find an opening with the nade. The Skies was your safety net. He is going to fall, so Atlanta FaZe are going to be able to extend the time. They're currently up by 3, but you cannot allow this transition, the kills, to go in favor of FaZe.
Cell's watching the cross. Simp can play off the flank, and Abizi still on the zone, just watching towards the lighthouse. This is a perfect setup for Atlanta. Someone's going to have to step up right here and right now if you're Optic. Skies shots the door, tagging Draza. Gets him into a little bit of a place of uncomfortability, but still, a tick and a half has already come through. Optic working on a pitch. Shut down as Draza finds another. Stun stays, all going Draza's direction, but he's still not losing any gunfights. Sky's moving forward, and the ARs for Optic able to keep the defense alive.
Yeah, but you're so tight now on this setup. You need to win another wave of gunfights over towards tower, and the openings are here. 2-2 split, pinstripe kill feed, a minute 30 to work with. Atlanta still here to contest.
But Dashy's still fighting. He finds another before dropping. That's critical. It gives Optic a chance to just breathe a little bit coming out of the defensive spawn, but FaZe unbothered as they start to make their way through field. Simp with a read over towards mid. Dashy finds the kill. Draza trying to clear up down low. He does at least find 1 trade, but no influence on the zone yet for Atlanta.
Now if you're Optic, just take space in their spawn. You're already down by 4 lives. Let's corner camp a little bit. Let's get a couple freebies. And thankfully, Dashy and Shotzi are able to find 2. A minute left to work with. Down by 3 lives. You have to take space in their spawn.
Draza's looking for that. Optic still controlling over largely on the north side of the minimap. And there's the read. They know the flank is well, truly being hit. Sky still on his backside, able to get the shutdown. 8v9, 35 seconds on the clock. FaZe coming out of spawn.
Oh, and Hook is still being a nuisance. He's on 3 in a row, just roaming around Trip's windows. Now he's trying to relocate himself, but does get caught. 25 seconds, Atlanta up by 1 life, and there's so much map control in favor of Optic.
Can't fall here if you're Skies. You cannot fall here if you're Skies. Turned around, Cellium finds the kill. Now back to the front, just down to Shotzzy. Literally just down to Shotzzy. 1 member on the zone. Shotzzy getting pushed from both sides, gets taken care of. And now you've got the stack on for FaZe. A chance to win this right here. 7v3. Nades from the top not landing. Draws a shutdown at mid, but you have to contest the zone. You've got to get here. You've got to get them out of the zone. First 2 kills are there, but they can't get it in time. And FaZe continue to dominate Optic on the year. This time to the tune of a 3-0.
An insane comeback in the Search and Destroy, being down 3 rounds. Down 2 rounds here in the control, and they are able to fight their way on back. It's just a different version of Atlanta FaZe today compared to yesterday. Their teamwork is there, the clutch factor is there, and then when they need to have it, I feel like it's the best team to do it.
Yeah.
When they have to have needed moments, they are always able to prevail in those situations. It came down to basically an 8v8. But then those kills start to go down. Optic are able to only find 1. Shotzzy last man standing. Atlanta FaZe were always in the advantage in the life column. So once they found that opportunity, all they needed was 1 trade to get the stack going, and they closed out this series in a clean 3-0 fashion. Optic played them tight, man. They played them tight.
Yeah.
The SnD, you're going to look back like, we should have definitely took that.
Yep.
This control, you had the advantage heavily. The only one you're going to be thinking about is that Hacienda hardpoint.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the story of Optic, I think, though, again, throughout this qualifier, is wins that should come through don't. It's closer. It's a little bit better. It's still not enough.
Yeah.
And the time is running out. You know, now you've lost this series. You're on that 8 spot. Minnesota just had a convincing win with a chance to extend their bracket a little bit